Hi everyone, welcome back to Dila's Kitchen. Today I'll be making a chocolate bundt cake with a surprise frosting inside, and I'll be ending it off with a chocolate frosting on top. So let's get to it. On medium heat, I've got a cup of coconut cream. I'm adding to a small saucepan. This is now the frosting inside. I also have a cup and 1 1/4 cups of coconut that I'm adding. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of flour, so the flour will hold everything together and bring a thickness to it. I'm going to wait for just to sort of boil a little bit. I'm adding 1 cup of nuts to it, normal nuts, and I'm giving that a mix. Still on low heat. Okay, I'm going to wait for this to cool down, and then I'm going to transfer it to a bowl. In a separate bowl, I have 2 cups of cake flour that I'm sifting. I've got a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, cook soda. I have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and I have 1 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. I am going to, and 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I'm going to sip this. I have all my dry ingredients in here, giving it a whisk, and I'm adding a cup of white granulated sugar, and I'm whisking everything together. I'm adding 1/2 cup of oil in a separate bowl. I've got 3 eggs here that I'm adding as well. I've got a cup of buttermilk. You can use normal milk. I also have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You can see it's thicker. You can use vanilla essence if you don't have vanilla extract. This is just going to bring out more flavor. I'm giving this a whisk. I'm adding my dry ingredients to my wet ingredients. Adding 1/2. I'm adding the rest of the dry ingredients. I'm adding 1 cup of coffee. You can add coffee or just boiling water, and I'm working it through with the whisk. Adding more coffee, but I'm not adding everything at once. It's a very runny consistency. Okay, like I said, it will be a bundt cake. So I'm using this bundt pan. This is one of the best bundt pans, and you don't need, I only need some cook and spray for it. If you use a different type of bundt pan, make sure you grease it well. I'm adding my batter to my pan. Okay, I'm using an ice cream scoop, and I'm going to scoop this on top. I just scooped the surprise right on top. It's going to sink in once it starts baking. This is going into a preheated oven, 180 degrees Celsius. I'm going to bake it for 30 minutes. Okay, so my cake just came out of the oven. I waited a few minutes for it to cool down. It's still a bit hot, but I want to flip it and see. Yeah, this thing is actually so hot. I'm going to remove the pan. Okay, so I'm going to wait for the cake to cool down completely, and in the meantime I'm going to start with my frosting. So I'm starting off with my ganache chocolate glaze. When I do ganache, I use a good quality dark chocolate. I do have, and I'm going to chop it up, I do have some baking chocolate that I wanted to use, but I'll use it for something else. I've got 1 cup of dark chocolate that I chopped up. I have 2/3 of a cup of fresh cream that I put in the microwave for a minute and a half. I'm going to pour this over. And now I'm going to start mixing it. So you don't want to whisk. You're going to make sure you mix it slowly so that you don't create unnecessary air bubbles, and then it won't have that glossy look. As you're mixing it, it becomes thicker. So this is when you use a good quality chocolate. It works quick. So here's my dark chocolate that I melted. I've got a little bit of normal chocolate here, and I'm adding it to the dark chocolate just to break that bitter taste. Some people don't. You don't have to do this, but I just want to break the bitter taste, and then I'm going to mix everything together. Okay, so this is the consistency. You don't want it too thick, you don't want it too runny. I'm using a drip tray, and the cake has cooled down completely, and I am going to start. Okay, so you'll see some nuts that pop out here and there, which is actually fine. In the middle there's some nuts popping out, and I'm using a drip tray. I think I said that already. Okay, so the cake is still dripping down. It's still very like soft. I'm adding a bit of nuts to the top. I don't actually want to spoil the cake, but I want to add a bit of nuts to it because it is a coconut nut cake. So my chocolate bundt cake is ready. I want to cut through it and see inside whether how the surprise will look inside. Surprise inside. So that is your coconut nuts that's inside. So with this recipe that I did today, I use my slab cake, round cakes, cupcakes. So I use the same recipe for all my chocolate cakes, and this is the inside of the cake. If we can just zoom in there. Maybe I was supposed to actually cut it a bit bigger. I normally don't do birthday cakes. We have a special lady that we order our birthday cakes from, but this is a birthday cake, and it was a special request from someone, so there's a birthday in the house. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. The link and the recipe will be in the description. Thank you for watching, and God bless.